Start on our backs. Place your hands on your hips, straighten your elbows, walk your ribs away from your pelvis. Lift your head, lay it back down. Take a big inhale. Let your belly expand. Ribs go wide. Collarbones rise. Exhale with a ha sound. Like you're fogging up a mirror. Then changing to the 2-part breath, keep the abs taut. Inhale, ribs widen, collarbones rise. Exhale, abs get tighter like you're cinching up a belt that's going from your back to the front. Belly comes down towards the spine as a result. Hold that contraction about 50%, inhaling into ribs wide, collarbones rise. Exhale, ribs collapse. Abdominal wall tightens to 80 or 90% of a contraction. And then close the lips on the ha sound so you can still hear it in your throat. And that's the ujjayi breath that we'll use throughout this practice. Get your pelvis level. You want when your hands get level, that's a level pelvis, and there's usually a slight arch in the low back. Low back is slightly off the floor. Low ribs are trying to touch the floor. Shoulders are broadening. Draw your right knee into your chest, keeping neutral spine, keeping that arch in the low back. Foot goes up to the sky and lower it down on the exhale. Inhale, draw it in, give it a squeeze. Foot goes up, exhale, lower. Pelvis stays very still and level. So the leg is moving in the hip socket. No rocking on the pelvis. It's like you're in concrete from your tailbone to the top of your head. Press the back of your head and your low hairline down into the floor, about 50% pressure. Give it a little push. You're strengthening your neck. Switch. Press the hairline down. Try to make your breath as long as you can. If you can exhale for 5, inhale for 5. If you can exhale for 7, inhale for 7. Working your way up to 10 or even 15. Tighten, tighten, tighten the abs. Scoop the belly like an ice cream scooper, making a divot, and the abs are pulling down. You can feel this abdominal contraction all the way from the back, all the way around to the abs, to the belly button even, and it's moving downward. Lengthen the leg. You're going to lift it a ½ inch off the mat as if it's in super glue. Super glue's holding it down and you're giving it a little pull upward. Ujjayi breathing. Level your pelvis, so you probably have to weight your right hip some. Shoulders broadening. Low ribs trying to touch the mat, keeping the arch in the low back. Face softening. Get fascinated with the movement of your ribs, the movement of your lungs. Abs continually working, 50% on the inhale, 80% on the exhale. Switch. Press the hairline into the mat. Give it a good 50% push. Bring your knees to a bridge. Touch your heels. Lift your hips off the mat. Lift up. Let your arms relax. Lift your head, lengthen it out, lay it back down. Your upper chest is moving towards your chin. Draw your navel towards your spine. Tail is moving upward as a result of the belly flattening. Press your feet towards the front edge of your mat. Fascinated with your breath again. Ribs widening, back broadening. Exhale, abs tightening, cinching up around your waistline. Lift the toes so you're not gripping. Rest them gently. Slowly come down. Roll to your left side. Come to a lounge lizard. Stack your ankles, hips, beyond your elbow. Arm turned out 45 degrees. Hold a mug. Drop your head. Let your ribs sag. Ujjayi breathing. Roll onto your belly. Low Cobra. Hands about 12 inches out in front. Navel pulls up. Pubic bone anchors down into the mat. And then you're going to lift your elbows. Inhale. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, lower down. Toes are spreading wide, fingers are spreading wide, belly is pulling up. As you inhale, it's like you're scraping your chin along your Adam's apple, and then the head comes up. Exhale, lower down. Chin moves along the neck as if it wants to touch the Adam's apple until it gets to the top. And then look up slightly. Pubic bone down, belly up. Make your breath as slow as you can. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Lounge lizard on the other side. Right hip down. Drop head and ribs. Ujjayi breathing. Move your top shoulder away from your head to get a bigger stretch on the neck. Sag. your back. Into a plank position on one knee. Lift your knee. Release. Bend your elbows. Slowly lower down into a medium cobra. Walk your hands forward about 6 inches. Exhaling down. Spread your toes and fingers wide. Belly up. Pubic bone anchors. Inhale, rise. Chin scrapes past the Adam's apple and then unfurls the neck. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Before you begin this movement, the belly comes up, pubic bone anchors, then rise, then unfurl the neck. Shoulders spread wide like the hood of a cobra. Belly up, anchor the pubic bone. Inhaling. And then on this exhale, you've got to get the ribs forward away from the hips, ribs forward, ribs. Middle ribs moving away from low ribs, upper ribs moving away from middle ribs. Inhale, rise, unfurl the neck. And then low ribs reach out, out, out. Middle ribs move forward, upper ribs move forward. Anchor and rise. Hands under shoulders. Press up. Bring your right knee up. Sit back on your right hip. Right hip, knee, and ankle stay anchored onto the ground and then fall forward. This back knee straightens as much as your body allows. Drop your head, support your head. Get fascinated with your breath again. Play with how long you can make these breaths. Rise up, bring your right elbow to your right arch or your wrist, whatever arm part can reach is great. And then work with your hands however they'll work. I like this one. It can be here. Drop your head, drop your shoulder, just lean into the shoulder. Ujjayi. Now you'll feel areas of your ribs are collapsing, so breathe deeper into those areas to get the ribs to open up. The inhale on the Ujjayi is just as loud as the exhale. You're going to rise up and switch sides. So left elbow to the thigh or wrist. I like to hold underneath my shoulder, but however you can work the arms works for me. Drop your head. Breathe into your back. Find the tight spaces and watch them grow bigger with your breath. Release. Other side. Rise up, left elbow to left arch or wrist. Drop head. Lean into the bottom shoulder. Give a little push to the fist, so the top hand is pushing into the fist to add slight rotation here. Feel the stretch in the shoulder girdle as well, the bottom one. Rise, switch sides. Drop your head. Lean into your bottom shoulder. Find the small spaces and make them large in the torso. Release. Lounge lizard again, but a high one this time. Onto your wrist. Stack your joints. Ankle, knee, hip. Drop your head. Sag into this. Let your ribs move towards your arm. Move your top shoulder away from your head. If this is too high, you can come to your elbow or walk your hand out. Coming to a high cobra. So your hands are under your shoulders this time. Elbows squeeze in tight. Exhale, lower down. Ribs moving forward. Anchor. Belly up. Pubic bone down. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Chin scrapes Adam out. Anchor down, rise up, unfurl the neck, shoulders back and down, exhaling, ribs forward. Elbows and arms are really tight next to the ribs. They're grazing the rib cage. Onto your other side, lounge lizard. Drop your head. Rolling onto all fours. Upward dog. Hands shoulder width apart, fingers wide. Walk the feet back. Then come to the tops of your feet. Lower your pelvis, bend your elbows, squeeze them in, heart forward, belly up, pubic bone down. Breathe like you mean it. Knees down. Sit back. Curl the toes under. Drop your head. Keep the spine flat. And again. Flatten the feet. Belly comes up, pubic bone down. Heart forward. Elbows in. Shoulders down. Index fingers press down, down, down. Toes wide. Knees down and back. Flat back. You can spread your knees wide if that helps. Take some deep breaths here into your low back. Feel like your low back expands like a balloon when you're doing this. And again. Knees down, knees wide this time, and do let your belly hang, drop your head, let it go. Inhale into the low back. Experience expansion in the low back. On the inhale, it gets wider and bigger. Bring your fingertips together. Still using the Ujjayi. Slowly roll up. Curl your toes under. Come up onto your knees. One more back bend. Hands into the top of the hips here. Open up the chest. Retract your head. And then a back bend in the upper back. Belly in. Tail anchors down. If you want to go deeper, you can hinge back further. Try to pull the belly in. If you want to go deeper than that, you can reach to your heels. If you want to add the head, you need to scrape the chin along the Adam's apple and then let the head go. Make sure the curve is in the lower neck. Breathe up into the chest. Open your heart. Open your heart in the back as well. Broaden your back. hands to the low back. Help yourself up. Sit back to the side. Feet around. Lower down without bending forward. Flat back as you come down. Dead man's pose. Let your feet flap open. Turn your palms upward. Drop your jaw. Release around your eyes and around your mouth. Give in to gravity. Release down the arms to the fingertips. Elongate your spine. Maybe walk your hips away. Let the legs go. Surrender all the way down to the tippy toes. Set all your thoughts on a cloud and let them float away. wiggling your fingers and your toes. Take a big inhale, reach your hands above your head, stretch. Exhale to your right in a fetal position. Slowly put to a seated position that you like, that you're comfortable in. Maybe you're sitting on some blankets or a block. Hands in front of your heart. Choose 3 blessings in your life and give thanks. As you exhale, lower your ego mind below your compassionate heart in reverence. Inhale as you rise.